Welcome back to episode 13 of the Snatch podcast. So I'm joined with a client that I've had for probably coming up to 2 years now. It's Rachel. We've just had a competition, so we've just done the Scottish Championship. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to introduce Rachel and then we're going to explain how she's got into weightlifting, the journey over the sort of the last 2 years, where we finished last weekend just gone, and then what the journey is going forwards. So Rachel, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm feeling good after the weekend.
It was a very good weekend. But before we go into that, do you want to just explain how long or who you are, what you do, how long you've been doing weightlifting for?
Yeah, so I'm Rachel. I'll briefly tell you what I do, but normally it causes a bit of a tumbleweed effect. So I'm a senior data engineer for a utilities company, basically a programmer for data infrastructure. If you know nothing about that, I don't expect you to.
I've heard the word programming before, but I think that's as far as it goes.
That's usually like where people draw the line, to be fair, which is absolutely acceptable. It's fine. So that's my day job. How did I get into weightlifting? So I've always done some form of sport in my life, mostly been in team sports. Started off in football, moved into touch rugby, then got involved in various extreme sports, so mountain biking, surfing, snowboarding, all those things, but nothing really stuck to any great extent. I did have a brief stint in powerlifting, so pre-COVID times, decided to get as strong as I could, but then COVID hit, gyms closed, kind of fell away from it a wee bit, and then when things started to open up again, decided that it's time to call it quits on that and wanted to learn something a bit more interesting. No offence to the powerlifting those out there. But yeah, just obviously with the amount of skill required to do weightlifting, there's so much more to learn. So found yourself, decided I really wanted to give it a proper go.
Yeah. It's crazy though, isn't it? I think the funny thing there is that powerlifting, it's quite a boring sport. You do the same three movements. It's a squat.
I didn't want to say boring, but...
Yeah, but I'll just take it there. But weightlifting is two movements, but the skill required to execute a good snatch and a good clean and jerk just gives you so many different things to think about. Like, I don't think training is ever sort of just, I'm going to go in, I'm going to hit a few snatches, and I'm just going to leave.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Is weightlifting the sport that you've stuck to the longest?
It's the one that has given me the opportunity to learn the most. So I feel like coming into everything else, I already had a base level understanding. It was kind of like, I can do this. Whereas I like a challenge. So weightlifting, I'm still learning, obviously. It just feels like you never have that, you never reach that point of I've completed it, you know?
Yeah.
So I think for that reason,
Okay. So when you started weightlifting, what was the actual goal? Did you know how far you wanted to take it?
I just wanted to see what I was capable of. Obviously, kind of in my mid-30s, thinking what can I do now? Getting to this age and stage of life, and just wanting to ensure obviously longevity as well, but just wanted to see what I could achieve. I knew realistically there was a baseline strength from powerlifting stuff, but wanting to just commit to one thing and see how muscly I could get.
Yeah. And are you happy with how muscly you've got so far?
I feel like there's always room for growth.
You've never completed it.
No.
So when you started weightlifting then, what do you think your sort of the first hurdles or the biggest struggles that you faced?
To be honest with you, just getting to grips with the movements. I don't think you fully appreciate how much goes into just executing a snatch, for example. Yeah. I'd say snatch probably more so than clean and jerk. And just how much time it takes for you to actually learn that, do it in a way that is productive, efficient, where you actually start to see the weight shift. And it's just so humbling, to go from powerlifting, shifting big weights, to then put 25 on the bar and struggle. It's a massive wake-up call.
Yeah.
So massively, massively humbling to start weightlifting.
Yeah. I think it just feels so disjointed because you learn to squat. It's very much like, I'm going to tell you to sit down as if you're going to sit on the sofa. Very basic. You know, if we're going to look into this a little bit more, it's a bit more than that. But you're then going to stand up. A deadlift, hold on to that bar, grab it, and stand up. Bench press, lower it to the chest, press it away from you. Okay? The basic run of those 3 movements. I'm then going to tell you how to snatch. And then you're gonna keep it against the shins, but you're not going to pull it with your arms. You need to push through the floor. And then you're going to try and take that bar overhead, but you're not going to pull it. You're going to drop underneath it. And it doesn't necessarily like connect with any other aspect that you've done in life, does it?
No, definitely not. And there's so much information out there as well about how to do it, and you know, your arms should be elastic bands, but you've also got to lock out and have active receive position, but also like not too stiff, and it's a minefield for sure.
And what would you say, what was like the biggest surprise that you found through learning the Olympic lifts?
I think just what it takes to actually get to a point where you're shifting reasonable weight. Like, because I would say, in all honesty, like, it's only been probably in the last sort of year where I've actually started to see like proper progress in terms of numbers. But like that solid foundation of learning the technical aspects, like that takes just a lot of time and a lot of you know, there's no way around it. You can't shortcut it, you know.
Yeah.
And I think just having that appreciation when you see those elite athletes as well, and you're like seeing the weights that they're shifting, like you know what it takes to get there, and it makes it all that more impressive, I think.
Yeah, I think it's underappreciated how long it takes you to actually be good in weightlifting. I think it's a lot of time it's almost like people want to get into weightlifting because it is cool, like it is a really cool sport, but then don't understand the steps it's going to take to actually execute it. And then they've built up these really bad habits of just pulling the bar overhead. But then that is then going to stop all progression after that point, isn't it?
Yeah.
But how long would you say that we developed like those solid foundations? Like it was probably coming up to like 6 months before we're like, okay, like the movement's good. There's areas that we need to work on, but we now just need to start pushing the weight a little bit more, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. And I think there is a fine line, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, you've got to sort of like push the weight a little bit, fail to then learn and then move on. That you can't just keep sort of in that comfort zone. You've got to like fail the reps to be like, all right, okay, that's where I'm going wrong. And then, you know, that's how you incrementally build, I think, from there. But there's a fine line. Yeah.
So we've been working together now for what, nearly 2 years?
Just about, yeah.
Yeah, but the goal when you first started was never to compete, was it?
No, not really.
So what changed? What the hell happened?
You know, I think it's a me problem more than anything, I'll be honest. But obviously, coming from being in sport, you'll know yourself, like, there's always that desire to be, like, the best you can be at it. And then I think there's that thing, there's a point you reach in weightlifting where you really start to enjoy it, but you think about, right, what am I actually working towards here? Like, what are my goals? Why am I doing this? What's my why in this? Yeah. And then I think there's just that, like, desire to be competitive. And so I think for me, in order for me to, like, stay hooked in and maintain that motivation, having those competitions to work towards, and then also going out and lifting with people who are better than you, that pushes you so much more. Like, it's like, I talk about this all the time, when I started riding mountain bikes, I rode with like all the guys who were like incredibly talented, but it pushed me so much quicker because I was, you know, and it's the same with competitions. You're witnessing people shifting your same body weight, like shifting significant weight, and you're like, I want that. And so you go home and the hunger's there, and then I think it repeats and it feeds into that sort of cycle of like, right, go away, do it, work on it, come back, you know. So I think that, in all honesty, is
I think because you've probably been around sport from a very young age, with all the sports that you've done, is that you've always got that competitive edge, and you know it's going to shine through no matter what. You know, like it's going to come out in some way. And It's one of those things, like listening to your why. It's about sort of being competitive with yourself, isn't it? It's never sort of like, oh, I want to beat that person. That's like a byproduct of what happens. But you do just want to sort of push yourself, don't you? And you can hit these big lifts in training, but it's not the same as lifting it on a platform when you've only got 3 attempts. You've got 3 judges that are going to watch your lift, and they're going to determine whether it's a white light or a red light.
Yeah.
You know? And like, there's probably been times where you've done a lift on a platform and it's been a red light. For example, this weekend just gone, that last clean and jerk. It was the faintest elbow bend, wasn't it?
I know. It wasn't even.
But in a way, it's like I'm going to count that because we know that we've done that weight. But you're not going to count it as a competition PB until those 3 judges go, yeah, that's a good lift. And then you've got that determination, haven't you now, going back into training, going, this is what we're fighting for them to give me 3 white lights. Like, that's what I want.
Yeah. It's almost like, I'm going to show them. Like, I'm going to show them.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. So how long was it in that first sort of, before we sort of booked that first competition? I want to say within 6 months, was it?
Yeah, it was in November. And yeah, about 6 months. Yeah,
so it's like 6 months in, with the goal of just fuck about, find out, see what happens. Like there was no sort of goal attached to that, was there?
No, not really. I was just like dipping my toes in, being like trying it on. Do I like this? Do I not? And then I just caught the bug, I think.
I was going to say, like, so I'm assuming you enjoyed the first competition. What did you think about that first competition? What were the expectations going in? And then outcome-wise, afterwards, was it what you expected? Was it anything different?
Do you know, it's really interesting because obviously I did compete when I powerlifted as well. And going into weightlifting, I think particularly weightlifting in Scotland as well, like it was such a nice community. Like it was so friendly. Like I stepped into something and I was like, oh wait a minute, I'm actually part of something really cool here. Like, and it shifts you from being a solo athlete to then being part of like something much bigger. And then you're like, wait a minute, like it just opens so many doors and like opportunities and friendships and things like that. Like I'm now on the women's committee for Weightlifting Scotland and I coordinate the website because because obviously that would never have happened if I hadn't competed. So but in terms of expectations, like I think I wanted to try it on, wanted to see what it was like, wanted to get that experience of, like you say, the refs being like, here's the standard, you meet this standard or you don't, and like having that sort of like independent view on my lifting as well. And then like that, it gives you something to work on. But really I was just like, do I enjoy this? Do I not? Do I want to keep going? And came back from that just buzzing. Yeah.
Can you remember the lifts that you went for?
Yeah. I still had the big bumpers on for Snatch. So I was like 30, 35, 40, failed the 40. Yeah. Which is mad thinking about that now. Clean and jerks, I was like 43, 47, 51. And considering like that was like 10 kilos more last weekend. I mean, that's just mental.
Yeah. So you hit the 30 and the 35 snatch.
Yeah.
Then your last attempt at 40 rolled forwards. So that was last year. Is that right? Yeah.
End of 2024.
Yeah. Okay. End of 2024. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure 35 was that. Did that match your PB? That second attempt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were going for like a 40 kilo PB, which is big, isn't it?
Yeah, it was big.
And then the weekend just gone. What did you open up at Snatch?
42.
So 40, which is huge, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah.
We're talking just over like 12 months really, from your very first competition to the competition that you've just done, and you opened up more than what you wanted to PB at that first comp, which is insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clean and jerk, hit 43, hit 47, held 51. With an elbow bend. We'll talk about that later on.
Yeah.
But this weekend just gone, you opened up at 50, 58?
Yeah.
Which is insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's until you look at this and you go like, nah, that is ridiculous. And for people that don't know weightlifting, it's really hard to get your head around because you can stick on a 2.5 kilo plate on a back squat, for example, and it won't necessarily make much of a difference. You put a kilo on a snatch, and that's the difference between hitting a successful and failing a rep. Like, it makes such a difference. You've got such a small margin for error.
Yeah, 100%. And relative percentages as well. Like, if you think of the increase from first comp to this comp, like, you know, the relative increase is actually quite a lot. Yeah.
It's massive, isn't it? So, after this competition, you caught the bug. You caught the weightlifting bug. We realised that it was, you know, there's different avenues that we could go down. We could, like, okay, you know what? We could actually push this and open up different competitions, because this was a tier 3.
Yeah.
And there was different competitions. There's tier 2, tier 1 is competing for sort of like British, Scottish championships, etc., etc. And then all of a sudden, that's what we wanted to sort of push for, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So the goal for 2025, what were your goals for 2025? Can you remember?
I wanted to hit a 45 snatch and a 60 clean and jerk.
Yeah.
And I wanted to qualify for British, I want to say.
Yeah. So, we set that competition was November 2024. We then set those yearly goals January 2025.
Yeah.
So the start of last year, with the goal of hopefully hitting British Championships, hitting a 45 kilo snatch, hitting a 60 kilo clean and jerk. We did various competitions throughout last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
How many competitions did you do last year?
I think I did like 4 or 5, like a lot.
4 or 5. Would you recommend that again?
I think that's probably a bit too much. Especially I had a couple that had like 4 weeks between them.
Yeah.
That wasn't smart. But you learn, it's fine. But no.
Yeah. But the reason why some of them were quite close is because we were trying to get that qualification total for British champs.
Yeah.
Which we missed out on just by, do you know?
Well, I think we didn't end up at British champs because obviously they changed their qualification system as well last year. But then I think we decided we were going to go for Europeans.
Yeah.
Because British was a non-starter last year because of the Q points thing that happened.
Yeah.
But I kept missing out on the European total by like 1 or 2 kilos.
Yeah.
Because obviously I went to Austria and all that last year, and it was like quite a big year.
Yeah.
In terms of competitions. So, didn't do British, but got to do my first international, which was pretty cool. Yeah.
But the biggest thing, you hit your yearly goals, but we hit them, what?
Like September, August?
Yeah. Which is crazy, isn't it? So within like 9 months, you went from failing a 40 kilo snatch to now smashing a 45 kilo snatch.
Yeah.
Failing 57 kilos, smashing a 60 kilo snatch. Knowing that there's still probably a little bit more in there as well.
Yeah.
Then we wanted to set up for a big competition in November, didn't we?
We did. Yep.
Yeah. What was do you want to just explain the goals for the November? Why was it such a big competition?
Yeah, so we had some discussions. Body weight had gone up and down a lot as well, and there was talks around possibly dropping a weight class because obviously the qualification total's lower as well. Yeah, it makes it a bit easier. Moving into that comp, I had the sole goal of hitting QT for Europeans, Masters Europeans for 2026. Huge aspirations, like literally first year of competing and I'm already wanting to hit European level. Went into it trying to get into the 53s, so I'm a 57. Didn't really go to plan, so I ended up competing in the 57s there for the QTs higher, and then it just added a lot of pressure to that. There was a lot of life stress going on at the same time. It was all just a bit of like a mixing pot of things that just weren't quite in my favour. But yeah, I think that though taught me like a lot. Like going into that taught me a lot about what not to do.
Yeah.
But also just it made me refocus a lot, I think, about what I really needed to work on as well. And I think that's where we basically kicked off the whole let's get really strong and have a huge volume block and let's build.
Yeah. Like, it's hard, isn't it? No one wants a bad competition. Like, you've put all this work in, you train hard, you wake up at ridiculous at 1:00 in the morning to go to the gym to get your session in before work.
Yeah.
You know, so you're putting extra stress on the body because you enjoy this thing. For then the competition to not go as planned.
Yeah.
It is hard, isn't it? And like, how did you feel after that competition?
Like massively, I think it was also as well, like, so I didn't compete until like 7 o'clock at night, I want to say. And like, I'm typically awake from 4:30 in the morning. So it's quite a shift. But yeah, obviously like massively disappointed. And I think particularly because like I tried to open in 42 again for that. I missed my first 2 snatches. And then it was like, I'm going to bomb this comp. And I was like, we need to make this 3rd lift. Absolutely need to make it. And it was a bit questionable. Like, it was a questionable snatch. Like, but they gave me it. But like, 42 should have been there all day long. Like, it wasn't really that much of a push. So yeah, it made me like, I was hugely disappointed. But I think at the end of the day, like, you just have to put it down to a bad day. Like, you can't let that define like your whole lifting experience.
Yeah.
But it did give me the hunger as well. I was like, right, next one, do better.
Yeah.
Can't repeat that. I just can't ever repeat that kind of thing.
Yeah. And then clean and jerks. How did the clean and jerks go in that competition?
They weren't quite as bad as snatch. I think I can, when it comes to clean and jerks, I can sort of push through when there's fatigue a lot better than snatch. But yeah, just not the numbers I wanted at all. Still sort of stagnated. I couldn't even get the 60, which I'd hit like I think the week before, something like that, or like a couple
like
weeks
2
before.
weeks before, wasn't it? Yeah.
So I couldn't even make the 60. Ended up with like an equal comp PB at 57. Was a bit like, that's nice, but you know, not what we wanted. But yeah, I kind of was like, I didn't bomb the whole comp. I still came away with a total. That's still a successful comp. And it's quite funny. I still came first. But like, everyone's like, are you not happy? And I'm like, no, that wasn't the goal. But yeah. So yeah, just you take it on as a lesson, don't you? At the end of the day, you figure out what the weaknesses were and you just make sure that you don't repeat them, I guess.
Yeah. It's hard, isn't it? Because on paper, that competition wasn't as bad as what we're talking like it is. Like we're talking like it was a disaster. Like, oh my god, it was a really poor performance. But really, equal PB, clean and jerk. Snatch was below PB by 3 kilos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But heaviest I've ever opened as well.
Yeah. You know, there is loads of sort of positives to take away from that, but it wasn't the outcome of the work that we've sort of put in.
No.
You know, previous to that. So then we did that in November, and we were like, you know what? There's areas that we need to work on. I don't want you to go on that platform again and every jerk be questionable because it was that double L bend. You know, like the clean, you do all that work in the clean, you stand it up, and then it would be sort of like, close your eyes, wait for the white lights and be like, okay, it was okay. You know, snatches, you are good at snatches, but it's the consistency at those heavier weights, isn't it? And what sort of really leaked in, it was hitting extension. We know that you've got like the speed and the power to hit that bottom position, but at those heavier weights, it was also, I've got to cut my extension short, I've just got to hit that bottom position. And then it would sort of roll you forwards or you'd lose that stability. Yeah. So we had clear goals that what we needed to work on for 12 weeks. We needed to work on having the strongest lockout that you've ever had overhead. Yeah. Cleans will just ride the wave. The clean is there no matter what. We just got to work on overhead strength for the snatch and the jerk. Yeah. And that is all that we focused on within the next, was it 16 week block of work? Something like that, 12, 16 weeks.
Yeah.
How many PBs have you hit within that last, that block of work?
Like every week it's like PB, you know, 5 rep max, like week on week. It's just insane.
Yeah. But all the PBs have shown us that, like, okay, the legs are getting stronger, which is going to help the drive out of the snatch and the clean. But overhead strength has got better, hasn't it? Push press has gone up. Yeah. You know, split jerk has gone up. There's loads of things that have sort of shown us that our strength has improved. So we were buzzing for this competition last weekend. Yeah. How did it go? How did that competition go?
Absolutely smashed it. Like, it was the best day. Honestly, like the best day. And I know I went 4 for 6 and missed my third attempt on snatch and clean and jerk. But like I said on the day, I wasn't even mad about it. Like I went for weights I'd never touched before, and they moved. You know, like I'm not mad about that at all. At all.
No, and I said it to you after that competition. If there was such a thing as a fourth attempt, you would have got that.
100%.
You know,
yeah,
because it was more of a timing thing, wasn't it? The body was probably a little bit surprised that you threw that 40. What was the last 47 snatch?
Yeah.
You threw 47 overhead, but it was just like you forgot to lock out. Probably because it was so much of a surprise that you were actually going to take it overhead.
Yeah. Because interestingly, normally on third attempt with snatch, normally I panic and I rush it. But I actually didn't. Like, I actually didn't this time. And literally, like you say, it was like almost my body went, oh, what's this? And it was like, oh, no. But yeah. But then, like, on clean and jerks, like split jerk now, like, if I clean it, like, pretty much 100% of the time, it's getting overhead. Like, it is. It's happening. Because that is
but it was the opposite in November, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
You know. That's amazing though. So we literally turned the weakest part of your Olympic lifts into one of the strongest parts.
Yeah.
By literally just focusing on that one thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like just driving hard with the legs and that strong lockout.
Yeah. Yeah, just constantly like drilling all the accessories to get there.
Yeah. So with that competition, you ended up qualifying for European Championships.
I did. Yes, I know.
So total needed 106. Total got 106. Knowing that there's more in the bank.
Yeah.
that
Easily another
is
5
June.
based on that comp.
Yeah. And like you've not got that competition until June. Do you only have any numbers that you want to hit in June? Where do you think you're gonna be?
I would love to walk away with a 50-51 snatch.
Yeah.
Would love it.
Oh man. Yeah.
Clean and jerk. 100% think I can smash a 65, and then I'd love to just go for like a third attempt to see what happens.
Yeah.
But
which would be a huge. Well, they'd all be a huge PB snatch, clean and jerk, and a total. So to get us there, then, like we were speaking about this over the last sort of like couple of days, but we don't necessarily need to change the work, do we? If we like think of training as like a sponge, we've squeezed a lot of like the low-hanging fruits, but we've still got more to give. The extension in the snatch is the best it's been.
Yeah.
Lockout still a little bit, but it's probably now more of like the exposure at those heavier weights.
Yeah. I
think that's the biggest thing there, and just having more time and opportunity hitting percentages at 95 kilo. Sorry, 95 kilo. 95%.
Yeah. That's it.
And then clean and jerk. What do you think the areas are for the clean and jerk?
Fast elbows. Like need to, because that's where it breaks down ultimately when things get really heavy.
Yeah.
But then I think it's just like remembering that I've got legs. Like quite often, I do rely on my upper body just to pull that weight. But when I actually drive off the floor, like I can shift so much more. And it's just making that lockout like absolutely unquestionable as well. Like you know, so there's absolutely nothing they can red light me on at all.
Yeah. So the goals really over this sort of next couple of weeks, like you've hit a back squat 1 rep max. We know that we want to sort of go again for that and hit 100 kilo.
Yeah.
But that then only solidifies that the clean, then we've got the legs to stand up a hell of a lot more sort of weight. Like I still think there's probably like your push press. What was your weight of a push press 1 rep max the other day? Like 58 kilos. We want to. That's probably close or less than 10 to 15% of what your split jerk. You want to be able to split jerk 10 to 15% more than your push press.
Yeah.
We've got more to give in that push press by just knowing that your legs got a lot. You can hit a 58 kilo split jerk, push press. So the things that we need to start doing is singling out just going split jerk work, but then hitting heavier weights. I want to get to the point where like you've already split jerked sort of 65 kilos before that June competition.
Yeah.
And you've done that a number of times. You know, if we can get to the point that you've split jerk 65 kilos on its own. You've done a separate clean at 65 kilos, and we've worked at volume at those numbers. Putting them together is less of a challenge on the competition platform, isn't it? You've worked up those weights, you know what those weights are going to feel like, you're not going to rush to get underneath that bar. We know that you've got that strong lockout, it's now just managing fatigue of putting them together.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely.
You know.
It's exciting.
No, yeah, it's really, really good. So that is June. And it would be good to get you back on in June to sort of go through what happened and like, you know, what we sort of gained from that. Because I honestly think there's going to be some big PBs coming.
Yeah, definitely.
You know.
And
yeah.
eating to match that as well. I think that's...
What's that, sorry?
Like eating to match that as well. Like getting enough food. Like that has been a big part for me as well.
Yeah, yeah. Because they keep changing the weight classes, but like what weight class are you in right now?
Well, it's still the 58s, but it will be the 57s.
57s. But even when it comes to the 57s, you are at, what, 55 kilo body weight?
Yeah.
So we've still got room in that weight class to add on a little bit more weight.
Yeah.
To sit higher in that weight class. That's only going to sort of positively impact your strength anyway, isn't it?
Yep.
But, yeah. No, that's awesome. So that is the end of the podcast. But before you go, I've got a question for you. What would you tell someone that was just starting out in weightlifting?
I'd tell them that you need to be pretty patient with the process, but hang in there, because it definitely is a journey, and it'll be the best journey you'll ever go on.
Yes.
There you go.
There we go. And you may as well just plug the weightlifting committee that you're in. Because I think it's amazing, and it needs to happen across the UK, not just in Scotland. What is it? Explain to us.
Yeah, so like I said, I competed in Austria last year. That was the kind of kick-off of the Scottish Women in Olympic Lifting sort of branch. So we sit under Weightlifting Scotland. We are tied to them. And so that's obviously the governing body for weightlifting in Scotland. We took a team out to Austria, and then from there, basically, we are organising ourselves to essentially run women-only training days to get more women under the bar, basically. We are going to host a women's only competition in April. So that is actually sold out already, which is...
No way!
Phenomenal. Yeah.
How many people are doing that then? That is insane, isn't it? That is amazing. And I'm assuming a lot of these people, that will be their first comp?
Yeah, so the primary goal is basically people who don't feel confident enough to do a proper competition, are sort of curious, but want to do it in an environment where like it's mega supportive and like you're going to learn stuff, and it's sort of like risk-free, if you like, because you can try it on, do you like it, do you not? There's going to be some people there who are experienced as well, of course, but like majority of folk are going to be new to competing. So yeah,
no way.
It's huge.
That's amazing.
We have
and what we'll do is as well, that's incredible. So like, once you've done that competition, then are you looking to host more?
Yeah. So the big dream is to host like an international level comp, where we have, like I said, the one in Austria was a women's only comp. So to have something similar and host it here. We also want to do like a kind of road trippy type thing, where we go round all of Scotland and we go and get people in areas that maybe don't have access to coaches and clubs, and we get them, like we get a barbell in their hands, and maybe like I say, you know, spread the bug.
Yeah.
And just get more, because me myself, obviously living in a rural area, there's no weightlifting club up here. Like I want to see more people doing it. So yeah, that's some of the things in the pipeline.
The biggest competition then is to see if you can spread the weightlifting bug as quick as the COVID-19 virus. What's going to spread faster?
I'll take it
Weightlifting Scotland or COVID-19?
Challenge accepted. Yeah, absolutely.
But what I'll do as well, in the caption, I can, if you send over the link, so if anyone listening to this wants to like learn more or see what the Women of Weightlifting is all about, just click that link. Because I think it's incredible. It's a shame that it's not sort of like happening within England, not that I know of, and like Wales, but hopefully that's things that can happen later on.
Yeah, maybe we'll inspire some people.
Yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed. But that is the end of episode 13. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe so you get notified when the next one sort of comes out. And yeah, make sure to keep liking these so we can keep pushing them. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.